Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your East Oakland advocate. Well, today I'm going to talk about improvised weapons and tools to help keep you safe and possibly even save your life. And so, uh, as you know, I always endorse carrying an OC spray, pepper spray. They're quick, they're easy, and they immobilize. Well, not really immobilize, but they stop the action of an attacker, and they're very simple to use. And what you only thing that you really have to do is get used to uh, how you have this set up, because this is like a gun, but it's not a gun. This is what we call in the business a chemical poke in the eye. And so with OC spray, what you want to do is make sure you hit the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, the facial area. And that's where these come in handy. This is a stream, so it shoots a very fine stream and out to 10 to 12 feet. And this is one of the strongest that you can legally buy. It's 1.40% capsaicin. And so that's a high amount of pain that's going to be generated when it's applied. And this is good for 25 half-second sprays or a continuous spray of about 30 seconds. And so these are cheap, they're easy to get. You can get them in a lot of stores. I get this online through Amazon Prime. They're $13 online. This is the brand is Palm. I'm not paid to advertise or promote them. It's just a version that I carry. And I had a conversation online. Probably some of you have seen that conversation with Chris, or not Chris. It was another person, and she was talking about a gel version. Well, I don't like gel versions because they take approximately 10 to 12 seconds before they actually take effect, whereas these take effect within a couple of seconds. How do I know? When I was training at the DoD and part of my military duty was to get sprayed down with OC spray, mace, and a lot of uh, different types of sprays that we may come in contact with. And we have to know what it feels like and um, how much pain it causes, because we're also carrying these. So it's just part of being a responsible tool carrier. So other tools, improvised tools that as a person just in the neighborhood, I walk the dog, and still there are times where you feel uncomfortable with somebody approaching, and the dog is alert. And I haven't had this exactly happen to me, but I have been approached. And then, because of the size of my dog, Mama, she's a 110-pound American bulldog. And that's an impressive dog. And people look at her, and especially a criminal who doesn't know me and doesn't know the dog is less likely to view you and look at you as food. But in the event that the person does attack, it depends on what they attack with. If it's just open hands, not a problem for me with my Wing Chun, Eskrima, and also Muay Thai. And so I can easily take care of a person without having to resort to anything. But in the event that the person has a weapon, let's say a knife, uh, uh, a knife can be very, very deadly. And I can show you, I've got several. Well, let's see. Yeah, you can see that one right there. That was a block on a blade that was coming in at me. And then I have a big slice right there from another block. Yeah. Um, so, uh, and then let's see. Right here, right there, there's a, maybe you can't quite see it because of the lighting, but there's a double stab from a knife tip that went into the bone. And I say went into because it partially penetrated the bone, but the bone stopped the knife. And so your arm blocks can be a weapon and a defensive weapon, along with being an offensive, because at the same time that I blocked, I was able to turn, grab the person's arm, control that arm, and then come in with an elbow right to the cheek and knock them out. But then there are other times you may not have that type of skill like myself, but you have weapons, folks. The men especially, you have a belt. What you can do, just undo your belt, pull it right out. Now you got a strap that can entangle. Also, you can whip with the metal buckle. You can also slap with the slapping motions. Also whip again, keeping distance. That maintains distance. So if it's a knife carrier, maintaining that distance between you and that knife edge is the most important thing. And this is easy. And if they start swinging at you, what you want to do is come up, and then soon as that arm hits the belt, grabs it, what only thing you have to do is just come straight down. You've entangled that arm now, and he's at your mercy. And your best bet is to pull it as tight as you can, and then just start swinging with that arm locked in, because you're controlling the arm, but now you're going to use him as a flailing tool, and hopefully you flail his body into something solid like a car on the curb, a building, a corner of a building, not into another person, but into something solid. And that's what you want to do with these. And then the other thing is, you've probably seen it in the movies. You block, you entangle, and then you clear by letting go and let the belt clear while they're still stunned. You take this, wrap it around their neck, and then all you have to do is just right around and then leverage. And the person's weight is used against them in choking them unconscious. So, man, you have a belt. You have a weapon at all times. Just make sure it's a good solid leather belt. This one's a very, very hard, solid belt. So even a knife swing, even a machete swing will not cut this. And so this could be your saving grace. And you can change the length by folding it in half or less. And so this is a very valuable tool, folks. And then for anybody, you always have a set of keys on you. What you want to do, keep the keys in your hand, keep the edges out like that, keep your edges out and between your fingers. And then now this becomes a stabbing tool, a scratching tool, and a digging tool if you get into soft tissues like ears, eyes, mouth, cheeks. This becomes a digging tool where you just grind it right into them, and that stops them. And so everybody, you have a weapon that just sits in your pocket. And then we have nighttime coming up, and so some of you may be carrying a flashlight like this. I like carrying a flashlight in the evening. I keep a wrist strap on it so that if I have to let go of it, I still have control of it, so it's not going anywhere. So having a lanyard on that flashlight is real important. But this becomes a major tool in the event of an encounter, because these act as reinforcement for your fists and knuckles, making your punch much more solid. Also, you have scratching, scraping, and cutting edges on here. As you see, they're raised edges. Use them digging, swinging, and then you have it on the backside. So on a backside swing, you can scrape and claw and cut the person. And this has some weight to it. This is not light like a pencil. This has some volume, and so any impact that you have with striking them with with your flashlight is going to make a difference, and it's going to leave an impression on them. And that's one of the best things that you can do. And again, for you have a leash. If you're out walking your dog, you have a leash. This leash is a valuable tool, and I keep it around my collar like I do, so that it's easily accessible. As most of you know, I walk my dog by voice command. She is not restrained with the lead, but I carry a lead with me as required by most of the law enforcement agencies that know me and my dogs. I've never had a problem with any of my dogs, and so my dogs are highly trained, and this becomes a weapon. Again, this is a snaring to ensnare, entrap, and also a strangulation tool. So, folks, you have tools that are hiding in plain sight. If you have a walking cane, you have a weapon. Uh, but you just haven't been trained how to use that weapon. And that's what improvised weapons are. These are things that are just right out in plain open sight in normal view. And it's just up to you to figure out how to use that best as a weapon to save your life. And so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you today. There are many other options that are available to you to use as improvised weapons. I've used a lot of different types of improvised weapons. Even something as simple as a straw can be used as an improvised weapon if you know the soft points to attack with that tool. And so that's what it is. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.